How's it going? This is Man, We're in Trouble, Season 2, Episode 4. I'm joined. Today. It's just me and Ed. We wanted to get up on real quick. We wanted to chat, and so here we are. It's a pretty laid back episode. Because it's just us
welcome
two.
to
We're
Mental Health Mondays.
Mental Health. It's Friday, bro. It's Friday.
What? No, it's not. It's fucking Thursday, isn't it?
It's Friday.
Shit, it is Friday.
It's Good Friday. It's wow.
Oh my God! Somebody at the gym even said Happy Good Friday to me, and I was like, thanks. I didn't.
Bro, you thought it was Monday, and
bro, weekdays mean
Thursday,
nothing to me anymore.
Bro, I am. How do you think?
You have a normal 9-to-5 job. I don't. But anyways,
that's fair. All right, so today we're kind of going through, and we have some debates that we found online. We wanted to pull them out and bring them on this podcast. So me and Ed will go back and forth and verbally fist fight each other over this type of stuff. And then we'll, but of course, I think for the most part, we have similar ideas. Actually, no.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
We'll see about that.
We'll see about that.
But of course, if you guys are listening in, send in a comment if we are completely out in left field or if you guys have a different opinion on the matter. So we'd like to hear from you on that end. So without further ado, Ed, do you want to say anything before I bring up the first topic?
Hello, and thank you for your service.
Thank you. I appreciate your support. I don't know what I would do without you.
What's your happy thought of the week?
My happy thought of the week. We're going to start with that. No, we'll finish up with the books. So
you act like we haven't done this before.
Well,
aren't you the host?
I thought we were going to switch it up a little bit to where we get started.
I never got the memo because you don't write memos.
I did, but you can't seem to figure out the updated memo.
Are we going to have an offline conversation online?
Nope.
Are we going to do this in front of the kids?
We are absolutely going to sit in front of the kids because you have, no, I'm done. Okay. We're going to talk about something good first. Let's bright spot. Okay. So if you haven't noticed, or if you guys haven't listened in before, I've moved to a completely new country and extremely stressful to say the least. But bright spot is that finally feeling settled. We got all our furniture. Things are kind of put in place and started to clean up. So again, a big stress lifted off of my shoulders. Finally got the new setup here. Yeah, I'm actually feeling like I can have a consistent schedule so that we can do this a little bit more. So that's my bright spot. What about you, man?
Well, now that you're moved, our schedules align a lot better. And I'm able to record this in the middle of the day while my partner's at work, and I don't have to whisper. So I can be my true self. Yay! So because I'm not recording under the bedroom. So if Mitch says something that makes me want to scream, now I can.
Great. I'm so glad that we've had the subdued version of Ed in the previous episodes. And now a year later, dude, yeah, actually, it's been a whole year since we first started this. Did you know that?
Has it been a year?
It's been a year since our first episode.
Yeah, everyone was getting NPR, Voice Me. Now everyone gets Alex Jones InfoWars. The water's turning the frogs gay. Me. Let's do it.
We literally just lost all of our viewers, all of our listeners.
I'm sure somebody listens to Knowledge Fight.
Yeah. No, he might have the Alex Jones voice, but doesn't have the Alex Jones opinion. So if y'all,
no, that for legal purposes was a joke.
Is it? Well, it's night here, and I'm enjoying a beer. So
it's noon here, and I'm not. Oh wait, 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Well.
Maybe I'll go grab something later. We'll see.
It's up to you. Maybe an energy drink. I don't know.
It's healthy masculinity to have a little something while you're chatting with the fellers.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a long week. I can relax a little bit and put one back.
Yeah, that's my bright spot. I've been working my ass off. I'm gonna have my highest paying month ever. Next paycheck.
Well, that's pretty good.
But yeah,
so that is a bright spot, especially with this economy.
Yeah, and I'm gonna yay, no politics, but let's keep talking,
bro. I'm just saying, gas is expensive. I'm not saying why.
Yeah. Hashtag electric cars.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot you have an electric car.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Wow. Wow. You're leaving that in. Mitch's internalized toxicity just came out.
Bro, I drive a plug-in hybrid right now because I love electric cars. I'm totally. It's the type of electric car you have. All right.
Listen,
There.
we've all
Said it.
seen South Park. Like when you're doing something lame and you call somebody gay for that, it's cool. You're not actually being homophobic. Because I would never call a gay person gay for being gay, but I
Of
would call
course not.
you
Why
gay
would
for
you?
being lame. It's it's different.
Different. I'm glad you had that
It's different.
clarification in here. You know,
Everyone watch
asterisk,
South Park if you haven't.
disclaimer. Yeah. All right. Let's get this started. So the first debate that I kind of want to bring up, a little controversial, but we'll see how this goes. So this person says this: women secretly love the patriarchy because it benefits them in too many ways that they aren't going to admit. Agree or disagree?
Next question.
No. I would okay. I think patriarchy in itself should be removed with like they love guys doing the dirty jobs.
Let's
We have to define
go
what
ahead
it
and start
means.
from the premise that we're not patriarchy stands. We're not guys that are like by any means I love the patriarchy. So
100%. We think the patriarchy is detrimental for guys and girls equally. Maybe not. Yeah, equally, but in different ways.
There's
we
issues.
think there's issues with the patriarchy. 100%. Let's get that out of the way first before people think that we are patriarchal stands, which we are not. So this person is arguing that women secretly benefit with this stuff. I do think some women can benefit from patriarchal kind of ideas in some ways. The negatives, I think, outweigh the positives of that type of stuff, which is why many are against and wanting to get rid of the patriarchy, which I would agree with. But I also think in general, like the things that they benefit from are like guys doing the dirty jobs or guys paying for things on the first date all the time or guys making more money and like that's kind of like in I think more of a traditional sense, but I think of it more as like girls just want to have a chivalrous guy, a courteous guy, a respectful guy. And in that stance, like that is quote unquote patriarchal traditionally, maybe, but I don't know. Your thoughts on that?
I also kind of like to shy away from calling it the patriarchy per se, because to me, it's more like traditionalism or just a traditional quote unquote way of seeing things where there's like a provider or a head of the household. Um, and and I put it like that because there are, examples where there are matriarchs and they take on those jobs. But I think this is the main reason why this latest like push of feminism kind of flat on its face. Because and I think a lot of young men, and again, going back to the main theme of like why did young men flood over to, what we call the red pill? A lot of people, and I don't necessarily disagree with them on this, saw women asking for equalities, but only in things that they felt benefited them. A good example of this being women want equal pay in the workplace. Sure. Of course, you're doing the same fucking job. You should make the same money. Anyone doing two people doing the exact same job, regardless of who they are, should absolutely make the same money. But we also live in the real world and we see that relationship trends, women tend to gravitate towards men that earn more than them. So,
and
how do you reconcile those, like their internalized hypocrisies?
I think it's also evident that like specific jobs themselves are more man jobs. Like more guys will be the garbage man, the mechanic, the dirty jobs, quote unquote. Statistically, more men will do that than girls, women,
More
women.
women will be nurses and flight attendants.
Yeah, 100%. I do think that
Traditionally.
I think there needs to be I do think that there should be what's the word?
I think what you're trying to say is there should be like an
Realization.
acknowledgement of the
Yes, yes,
differences between men and women.
100%. And that's okay. It is okay for us to be different. There are
That's the
things
whole
that
point.
women are good at. There are things that men are good at. And there are things that men probably shouldn't do that women do, and vice versa. That's okay. That's not
Yeah.
necessarily
She can give
patriarchal.
birth real good as fuck, and I can't do that.
Yeah. I don't think that's
Yeah.
necessarily patriarchal. That is just acknowledging. Now, I also would like to say that if a guy wants to do a woman's job, traditionally a woman's job, I think that's okay. And I think if a girl wants to do what's traditionally a guy's job, that is also okay.
Yes. Now, in the real world, what ends up happening is the guy doing the woman's job is often looked down on or upon, or is not viewed, even by women themselves, as less masculine.
I do think that it is no. So I will push back on that because I 100% think that when a woman sees a guy being a nurse or a guy being more like a teacher, more of that caregiving type of job, they are 100% seen as like higher on the totem pole when it comes to, oh man, he's really great with other people. I see that as
I
positive from the women's side.
will push back on that and say that that's only true if they're already in some way attracted to them.
Mm, I
Hold
don't
on.
I don't know. I don't know that
We're beating
answer.
around the bush.
No, I'm not beating around the bush because I don't know. What ladies, I'm going to need you to answer this specific question. Are you more or less attracted? Let me start this again. Ladies, are you more or less
I'm gonna help
attracted?
you.
No, are you more or less attracted to guys doing a caregiving job, like being a nurse, being a teacher, a I, I, throw a job out
Uh,
there? Is that them doing the job more attractive to you, or do they have to be attractive first for that to make you more attracted to them?
and I'm gonna go ahead and say they're going to comment what they want you to hear.
Okay, you ask the
Because
question.
a woman in the
You
comments
ask
will
the
tell you, be
question.
yourself. I
You
don't.
ask the question.
I don't.
You a-
I'm not gonna ask the question. And I'll tell you why. Because this is another major theme around young men's disenfranchisement with how things are going is a lot of women will tell you one thing and they'll do the other. Perfect example. Oh, just be great. Just be really nice. Be yourself. And then the
okay,
guy
so
she dates is not that at all. You see what I'm saying?
you think the majority of women that will say that they are attracted to guys doing a more traditionally woman's role, woman's job, they will say one thing in the comments, but in reality, they won't be attracted to them as much. That's what you're saying.
Are you seeing what you read in the comments in real life?
I don't know. I don't. I.
Think of
I don't
every
have the. I don't
every
have the.
girl.
Mhm.
Think of every girl that's dated the douchebag, right? The traditional, the jock, the captain of the football team, whatever. If we look at it that way. How many times have you actually read somebody say, "Well, yeah, I love a man that like is a little bit of a dick and is not that agreeable."
Hold on. Let me do some because what is the divorce rate of couples where the guy's doing what is considered more of a woman's job? I don't know the statistic off the top of my head.
Well, that's different because at that point, that woman's already accepted him and taken him for that. You're better off looking at statistics for dating than marriage.
Say it again.
You're better off looking at statistics for dating instead of marriage. You see what I'm saying? The problem, like, if your spouse was already willing to be in a relationship with you, like, then you're not, that job's not going to be a deal breaker for her. It's going to be a deal breaker when it comes time to enter the relationship. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Like your girlfriend who you met, if you're a male nurse and you've already been dating her for years and you get married as a male nurse, you still being a male nurse is not going to affect her decision to divorce you. However, if she doesn't know you and she just met you, that might be more of a factor in her deciding to date you.
I guess it
Vice
depends
versa.
on, as a guy, are you more interested in finding that girl to marry or to date and have a one night stand with? I think that might be the deciding factor of what you like choose for your profession.
Well, as a
But
guy, do you this goes into the question of, do people judge potential partners based on their career paths?
yeah, I would say
100%.
yeah, absolutely. Because
100%.
but I didn't join the military because I thought that that was going to get me the best, like that was going to get me a specific type of girl, woman. My bad. I didn't join the military, even though I think traditionally guys in their head will join the
There are
military.
absolutely dudes that
Yeah, there are
join
dudes that join the military
to get
because
pussy.
specifically to, yeah, 100%, 100%. I didn't do that. But again, it goes back to what type of lady were you wanting to attract? And I think there might be a specific vibe of, again, I think it depends on like what you envision in your head, but I, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
Did you become a pilot because you thought you were going to get a specific type of girl?
No, I thought flying was fun.
Do you
Flying
think
was
there are pilots?
fucking
Do you think
cool.
there are pilots out there that became pilots just so that they can have a girlfriend in every single city?
Just for that, I will say I have met dudes that are, they're not many, but I have absolutely met a good handful of guys that absolutely are all about, I land in XYZ city and I got a girl I can call.
Mm-hmm.
And I fly with guys that are like, man, I slept with blah last week. Like, there are guys that straight up still have that, like, yeah, man, I slept with all these girls. And I'm just kind of like, I listen because it's fun to listen, but I'm not like, damn, cool. That's
Yeah.
something that I want to do. It's like, that's cool. Good for you. But
Okay. So then
no,
there are,
it can be a
you would
perk of a
agree.
job if you're a young single
You
dude, or
agree.
not even young. If you're just a single guy and you're like, fuck it, let's go. It's a perk of the job if that's what you're into.
Do you think that same thing applies to women? Will they pick a job specifically for the type of guy they're trying to attract or for the type of thing that they're trying to do in a relationship?
I think that's more prevalent with women than men. Yes.
You're going to have to explain yourself and why you think that.
I think, okay, because women tend to also look for guys a lot of ways. A reality of dating is that women absolutely date up financially. Women almost always look for a man that earns more than them.
Is that a outcome of the women earn less than men, where it's just
That's
naturally
a
occurring?
separate conversation. That is a separate conversation. We can debate that later. But right now, we're going to just go with the fact that this happened. Women absolutely go for guys that make more. Regardless of the mechanism that lead to that, let's just part from there right now and we'll revisit that. We'll
Okay.
revisit that. Don't worry.
Okay.
Just hold on to that. I'm not shying away from that conversation by any means. I'm all
I'm not
about that
saying
shit. I'll go
saying you're
balls deep.
shying away.
So if we're gonna go with, man, I might feel this profession so that I can meet a high income earning partner. I absolutely believe that that is a behavior that's much more likely to come from women. I think like the likelihood that a woman goes, I'm going to work in medicine so I can meet a doctor husband, or I'm going to go be a flight attendant or work for XYZ airline so that I can meet a pilot husband or whatever.
You can see that in the pilot flight attendant area. I don't
I can
know
see
if
that
it's
in
the same nursing and doctors.
To be fair,
I
my partner works in medicine and this absolutely happens. And I'm
I
saying
do
this
think
too,
it happens.
mind you, I'm saying this too because I worked
Mm-hmm.
as a flight attendant for a short period of time in the past.
Before you became a pilot. Yeah.
Exactly. I absolutely heard the words coming out of their mouth.
I believe you.
I've heard women say like, "Oh yeah, I'm dating this pilot. Oh, what's he do? Oh, he's a first officer." Girl, you need to get you a captain. And then for the listeners, she made the money sign with her hands.
I believe that it happens. I'm not denying that. I guess the argument of what I'm trying to make is, do they become flight attendants specifically for the sole purpose of doing that?
Sole purpose?
Or
No.
sole
No,
purpose? No.
I don't think it.
It's
I don't
just,
think anybody
it's
does.
just,
I don't think men or women do. I don't think men or women get the job for the sole purpose of doing that. I think that is a much higher priority secondary effect
sure. Okay, good. We
for
agree.
women than men. Like that is
Yes, yes, because
perk.
that is, I would agree, simply because there's been multiple studies that, what was it? There's a Harvard study that found that if husband loses job, divorce rate goes up a lot. If women lose job, divorce rate does not change. Like that is, and so by that logic that you've said, I do think that being that, whether that be right, wrong, and different, study occurred, that happens. That is fact.
Yeah.
The
Well,
reason why I don't know 100% the reason why, but
no, but we can go ahead and have the that's income, right? That's all finances. So then we can have the income inequality question now. What do you think leads to that?
what do you think leads to the divorce rate being higher if a guy loses their
I'm
job?
sorry. What do you think leads to the fact that the average woman earns less than the average man?
I mean, I think that is just historically. I think it depends on, I forgot where the study was, but it's how they calculate the how women earn less. And I think part of it was like, as a whole, the women will earn less because of, one, they have to get out of their job to have a baby for a specific period of
Yeah.
time.
Yes, that's true.
Guys typically don't have to quit their job. So that's like one element of it. Another element of it would be like the amount of money that women have to spend on their healthcare products, doing a whole bunch of stuff like getting pregnant, the going through the pregnancy. Like there's a whole bunch of things
Well, hold on.
that goes into that.
That's an expense. That's
No, but
post income.
that is correct me if I'm wrong, ladies out there, like I'm pretty sure that is what they put into the calculation of how they earn less over a long period of time, is because they have to put in the calculus that they spend more money on certain things, therefore their power of their dollar is less than men. That's what
I
I
think that
thought the
is
study was.
that's a significantly lower affecting like variable. Because from
Do they count? You're go ahead. Go ahead.
my understanding, and I'll wait to have your undivided attention while we fact check
Okay.
ourselves
Go
here.
ahead.
I got you. Because you can fact check this too as I'm saying it. My
Mhm.
understanding is there exist very specific fields where like academia, science, where men and women do have to like individuals negotiate their own pay and benefit. And
Uh-huh.
those are the fields like, for example, like I think the main example everyone uses is college professors. Like college professors are one of those fields where it seems from what I've seen that men absolutely will earn a peer, a female peer who does the exact same thing, strictly based on gender. Those exist. Now, in the majority of other fields where, you and I work and all the other quote unquote normal people, the studies I've seen show women are more likely to take vacation and time off. Women are more likely for like their value their quality of life and value their mental health. And if they like, I'm taking a vacation, fuck this. Don't just
Yeah.
go take unpaid vacations. Men, we don't tend to do that. They're more
Mhm.
likely to quit a job and
Yeah.
if it's not working for them, fuck it. I'll go and start new somewhere else.
Yeah.
We don't tend to do that. Also, those first two factors, we need to take into account that society inherently puts the provider stigma on us. So we don't have the luxury, as women do, to just hop around jobs or have that uncertainty of income as them. So then if you and I, if I and a female peer earn the exact same hourly rate, but she takes way more time off than I do, or she doesn't
Mhm.
pick up extra flying like I do,
Mhm.
she's gonna earn less. Because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we just had that data happen at work. Mind you,
Yeah,
where I
yeah.
work, your pay is based on the aircraft you fly and how many years of service you have. Period. End of story. Every single pilot that flies the same thing with the same amount of years earns the same thing. And you know what the data showed? Women typically earn less than the guys. Why? Women picked up less flying. Women were less likely to take a promotion to captain and lose their seniority because seniority means preferred days off and more vacation and the vacation you want and the ability to drop stuff and have days off.
Yep.
So we also, when we talk about the income inequality argument, we can agree that there are things that need to happen, but we also need to accept the fact that it's choices.
No, I don't disagree that it could partially be due to choices specifically of how guys and girls
Yeah.
think about how to live their life on a day-to-day basis. You're right on that instance. So looking up here, other factors that impact the calculation specifically. So they're based on the calculation, they're specifically looking at wages of like who earns more from an hourly basis, on an aggregate hourly basis, and upper occupational segregation being the hey, traditionally guys will work a more expensive job or work a job that gets paid
Yeah.
more traditionally.
Yeah.
Engineers, garbage men, like there's like specific jobs that will pay more
Yeah.
because they're doing the more expensive job.
Well, let me ask
Women
you a
are
question. Let's tackle that because my field, aviation, where you have mostly female flight attendants and mostly male pilots, or medicine, where you have mostly female nurses and mostly male surgeons.
mhm.
A lot of people will bring that up, but like, I don't like that the debate revolves around the fact that, like, oh, well, women aren't encouraged to seek those fields, but nothing's stopping you either. Nobody's
I think there
like,
are a few
on
things
the
stopping
whole,
them.
I don't I don't think you will meet a nurse that will tell you that ask her what she did not become a doctor. And I don't think any of them will say, "Oh, the patriarchy or a man told me I couldn't do it."
I do think that it happens. I don't think it happens a lot, but I do think that that happens. It depends on what kind of household that you have. If you're a more traditional household, I do think that their fathers would probably be like, no, you don't need to do that. You can do this job because that's a woman's job. Or the mothers that are arguably like, hey, no, you don't need to do that job because that's a dangerous job. You should do this job because that's more what women should
Yeah.
be doing. I do
Well,
think that
then
happens in a more traditional household, though.
let me ask you this, because I run into, as a pilot, I meet also a lot of guys that are like, "Oh man, that's really cool." And I ask them like, it's like, "Oh, I would have loved to do that." And I ask them, what stopped you? Like, what's going on?" And a lot of them like, well, I don't know. So a lot
Yeah, I'd be curious.
a lot of men also suffer from these societal pressures where they tell themselves that they can't achieve something.
Mhm. I'd be
Like,
curious to see why women out there, hey, if you guys are listening right now, what caused you to not attempt that job that it's traditionally more of a guy's job? If that is something that you wanted to do, was it someone that told you you can't do it because you're a girl? Is it someone, or is it something that's just like, no, I'd rather do this because I prefer this specific job? I'd be curious, ladies, what is your thoughts on that specific one?
yeah, because there's societal pressures that, like, a lot of guys will shy away from becoming flight attendants because they don't want to be perceived as gay.
I'd agree with that. I mean, yeah, no,
So
absolutely.
that's a
So,
societally gendered pressure on, well, I guess that is, in a way, a patriarchal pressure.
yeah, as a patriarchal pressure, 100%.
Yeah.
I do also think, though, I think the study is kind of aggregating the entirety of the entire workforce and on average, the
But
types
that's
of
not
jobs that are
helpful.
happening. I agree. It would be more
Yeah.
helpful to see, like, hey, do male and female nurses, does the guy still make more than the girl? In
And
flight
why
attendant, in flight attendants, do guys make more than girls? And what? Yes, and why? Like, is that
what are their longevity?
yeah?
Like
So
average days worked. That, like, that
right.
the problem with a lot of these studies is that they're so incomplete.
Yes, I would be curious if it's job specific and how it compares and why it compares. I'm because if it is the same job, pilot to pilot, girl
Mhm.
pilot, guy pilot, I would be curious to see how much time off the woman pilot takes compared to guys, and if that is the calculus for why women make less in that specific field, or if there's other factors. But
There
yeah,
there is a position at work where it's the second in command for the international pilots. That's typically the best money for least amount of work in the industry. I would say that that is where the majority of female pilots tend to gravitate.
right.
And also,
So okay,
when it comes to being like a bottom of the barrel captain,
hmm
it tends to be the guys.
yeah.
Not always,
So
because
there are
I personally know very junior female captains that, hey, I took the first opportunity, I'm fucking there.
right.
And
Uh,
fuck yeah.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, overall,
Mhm.
she's the exception, not the rule. That's, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's one element, the occupational segregation, and then like how they prioritize their vacation days and part-time work and whatnot.
Or
The other
just
two
prioritize
big
your personal
factors,
life.
yeah, yeah, no, 100% prioritize the personal life. I think guys don't prioritize their personal life a lot of times. They don't
But is that
prioritize their
not
mental
part of
health.
the but is that not part of the societal pressure on men to
I
provide? And
right. So
yeah.
I think that's patriarchal problems that I think guys need to get
Yeah.
over sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other two things are the motherhood penalty and part-time work. Women are more likely to work part-time. I think that can kind of nest underneath the motherhood penalty because why would you work part-time if you also have to take if you're a single mother, you might not have the luxury of being able to work full-time in that sense. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
there are other things that the first topic that we were discussing, I think were very like one column of why a woman might make less.
Yeah.
The other part would be the motherhood, the single mothers, and what they have to deal with getting over that specific hurdle and why they might make less from that perspective. So,
If we bring it back, then if if women tend to gravitate to men that earn higher incomes and it benefits them,
Mm-hmm.
what incentive do they have to, push for that equality? Or let me put it this way. They say they want to be even, but in
Mm-hmm.
reality, they don't go for it.
So I think it's because the world has not incentivized men to stay at home and take care of the kids in that way. Like I think one America has not had a universal healthcare or universal childcare so that it would be cheaper for women to go out and do the jobs that they want to do.
Oh yeah, like daycare is like one of the biggest costs that
Super expensive.
the amount of male friends that I have whose partners who are mothers,
Mm-hmm.
where they both decided she should stay at home because
Yeah,
it made more financial sense for her to be a stay-at-home mom than for her to work and pay for the daycare.
right. Now, again, we'd be in that same situation. But if my wife made more than me, I might be like, I'll stay at home. I'll be
Yeah,
the dependent. I'll be the
yeah,
dependent. Like, I'll do that. Like, I'm okay with that because you're making more. I'm like, why would I? If she's making more money, I could be the one that stays at home because,
I agree.
but again, I don't,
But you need to
I,
cross the first hurdle of beating the statistics and attracting a woman who earns more than you.
yeah. No, I agree. I know that doesn't always happen.
It
So
doesn't happen.
and be okay with a woman that is okay with a guy making less money. That is, I think, a stigma around it because I do.
Absolutely. I personally know somebody who earns less than his wife, and he deals with issues of inadequacy, and he wants her to still be the one that stays at home because he wants to be the provider, even though he earns less than
So
her.
I think it also needs to be a conversation if how he what he does as a stay-at-home father, how he takes care of the house, and does she resent him for doing things a way that might be different than her. So if like she's working, he's at home.
Mhm,
There might be some resentment there
mhm.
i- because again, he's at home. And if he doesn't do the work that she expects of him at home the way that she wants it, she will continue to resent him and that causes issues. So again, I think that goes back to like you have to converse with your significant other
Yep.
if you are going to be a stay-at-home, you're going to be a stay-at-home father. How you parent, is it the way that she wants you to parent? Does it matter? Is that
Mhm.
a conversation that you guys both need to have?
I'm very glad you bring that up because how many men disagree with ways that their wives or mothers parent their children while she's the stay at home?
Uh, Yeah, it happens.
It
I do.
happens?
It happens. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I think that it happens less
No
because
fucking
of
way.
okay, if my wife is at home and I'm
Mhm,
working and she
mhm,
is the parent,
mhm.
I
Are you not the parent?
yes, but
Right.
that
Why
is a
if she's the working provider and you're the stay-at-home dad, why is her input in parenting as the provider worth more than you as the male provider, your male input as the father?
there should okay, no, there should be an equal amount of communication
Mhm.
between the spouses
It
for
sounds
how
like
you
it
all want
sounds
to
like you're
parent.
it sounds like you're leaning one way though. Is it time for me
How
to don
how
a medieval helmet?
how am I okay, I'm confused. I need you to explain how I'm leaning
You
one way.
mentioned You mentioned that when the woman's the provider and the man's a stay-at-home dad, that
Mm-hmm.
she might resent him if he's not parenting the kids in the way that she believes should be done.
Yes, I do think that happens. I think, okay.
I know,
So
yeah, I'm sure that happens, but then you don't believe that the other way around.
I think that guys will not
Do I need to bring my
divorce.
bush out so you can beat around it? Hold on. Let me just put it right here. Just put it right here.
I think guys have the same. I won't have the same care or
So you care less.
resentment. I
Why?
would care less because
Why? Why is your
it's a
why why is her input more important if you're both the father if you're
so
both parents?
maybe that is my internalized confidence I have in parenting skills right now, so that like I
That
might
sounds like a
be
cop out.
missing.
No,
I mean, it's true.
no.
What if I'm not
But
parenting the
you
way
don't think that your input as a father is equally valid when it comes to
I think
raising a kid?
I think that there are strengths and weaknesses that I have and she has that I need to.
That's a
I
cop
don't
out answer. So
always.
you're saying yes, it's equal.
It is equal. Yes, it is equal. I
Right,
think it
there
should
you
be
go.
equal. It should be equal.
Hold on, let me
100%.
yeah, hold on. You're like way on the other side of the bush now.
I'm not beating around the bush.
I can't
I
see
agree with
you.
you.
No.
There's. I'm saying
Are you sure about that?
I am. I'm saying. Okay. I think
You're
you're
beating.
misunderstanding the point.
Hold on, let
You're
me
misunderstanding the point. You're misunderstanding the point. I'm not beating
I'm
around the
not.
bush. I
I'm
agree
not. You're
with
trying
you.
to you're trying
I agree with
trying to
you. I agree with there should be an equal amount of say both if the guy stays at home compared to the girl stays at home. There should be still an equal amount of parenting input by each of them. Each person that is the breadwinner that is working, and if the other spouse is not, should not resent the other person if they are home.
That's not what you said earlier though.
That is what I was meaning. If I didn't come off that way, I apologize for.
Not even close. I don't believe you, but we'll let it slide.
I agree with you. There should be an equal amount of parenting by each individual if the other spouse is the stay-at-home parent. Yes. It should
Do
be
you
an
believe
equal
that's
input.
true in real life though?
No, it definitely does not happen in real life. It doesn't happen because of, again, the statistics back up the fact that it doesn't happen.
I agree. I know it doesn't happen.
It doesn't
that's the
happen.
point I'm trying to get there.
I don't know how to fix the problem. I don't know if that's a communication issue with the couples. I don't know if that's a expectation. I don't know if that's
I think it absolutely does. In a way, it does come off as an expectation issue.
Yeah.
Because you're the guy and she's the mom. And and this is somewhere where I think there are benefits on her side and they want to keep those benefits and stick to them.
But like I think that it is bottom line, people don't want to feel trapped in a relationship. People don't want to be people don't people want to be heard about their opinions in the relationship. People want to have their opinions respected. People don't want to be resented. And there needs to be communication in a relationship. If someone is a stay-at-home parent, guy or girl, if there is a statistic that the statistic exists that if a guy stays at home or a guy is making less than the girl in the relationship, we need to understand why that happens. I don't know if that why exists.
This comes back to the original theme of the question of what made young men gravitate to the red pill. And one of the things that young men will tell you is that they don't feel hurt.
Yeah, they don't feel heard. Correct.
So,
okay, but they might not feel heard, but are they also not doing the work to hear others' opinions either? And I think that's what happens with a lot of guys. I know it frustrates me sometimes because I don't want to hear other people's opinions. Sometimes I don't want to hear, some guys don't want to hear other girls' opinions. That's a different problem altogether, but I think that's what happens.
Plenty of girls don't want to hear a guy's opinion.
I agree, but we don't have a female red pill. Well, okay,
Yeah,
never
we
mind.
do.
I think we do.
Ever
Yes.
heard of trad wives?
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. There's
the
a lady
entire
red pill.
movement of women that prefer or gravitates to the quote unquote patriarchy.
You're right. They don't believe women's opinions matter either.
I'm not saying that they don't believe women's opinions matter. What I'm saying is women at some point crowned themselves the queens of communication. And a lot of times you hear women talking about relationships saying how much communication is important.
Mm-hmm.
But you and I, in past and present relationship, I'm sure we've lived some version of, hey, what's wrong? Nothing. You look mad. I'm not. Do we need to talk about something? No, everything's fine. What do you do then?
I do that.
I'm not saying, hold on. I'm not saying that we don't. But we don't go around crowning ourselves the kings of communication either. There is one gender that acts like there's one gender that loves to say communication is key.
Yes.
So this is again the internalized hypocrisy of ladies. You love to say you're the fucking queens of communication. And then we ask you what's going on. And
Say
if you
nothing.
even have the thought, if the thought of, oh, you should know,
Why
you're
are you not reading my mind?
Right.
See? Ladies, it does happen. Let's be real. It does happen. I've experienced it firsthand. We've experienced it firsthand.
Hasn't?
We have to be real. We have to be honest about ourselves, and that happens.
And I said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm not saying dudes have a monopoly in good communication either.
We suck at it.
I don't think either gender can crown themselves the fucking kings of communication. That being said, going back to that original question, society's more likely to hear out the problems of women. And like, yes, women have all like society like has all these problems around. Women have been treated like second-class citizens all through history.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting to a point in history where we're hearing it. Yeah, one of the best things that happened for, human rights in the last 100 years is, that
women can vote, women can have equal
treatment
voice.
The equal treatment of women. Unfortunately, what happened is we started treating listening to you as, well, their guys have no problems because they got the patriarchy. They have all the inherent, they got all the benefits. Like, that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, guys still have a lot of issues. Guys have 100%. They have so many issues, and guys aren't being heard. And
it's not a zero-sum game. We can all lift each other up. I can help you and listen to you, but you got to also be willing to listen to me.
Yeah. No, it definitely agreed. And that is why the red pill manosphere has been created, because a lot of guys don't feel heard. So we just have to acknowledge
gravitate
that.
there because it makes them feel heard.
Yes. No,
even if
I
it's
had this
wrong.
conversation. I had this conversation yesterday with Rachel from Chat Roulette. She had a guest appearance on it, and we had the conversation where she was like, what was it? At one point, we had the discussion where guys growing up in elementary school, girls, I think, have a better outlet and better friend groups to be able to communicate about feelings. At a certain point, as we grow up, guys don't have that same outlet to be able to express ourselves, to express our feelings and talk about it with our guy friends, because guys don't do that. At the same conversation, she brought up, like, guys should just suck it up. Guys should just, and I was like, but you just said that guys aren't brought up the same way. So how are we expected to suck it up? While at the same time, we haven't been taught the same ways to deal with frustrations, to deal with emotions the same way that women have. And she was like, I see. I don't know if I convinced her 100%, but I think there was a good back and forth conversation on that.
This sounded like she had a good light bulb moment.
Yeah, I think so. I think the conversation can continue happening in that sense, but I do think a lot of women have the similar like mentality. You know, the big pro feminists. They're like, some guys should be able to suck it up. I agree that some guys should be able to suck it up. Some guys are just taking advantage of other vulnerable guys, and that
That's
does
different.
happen. That
That's a separate
that
conversation.
yeah, I think that does
I
happen.
don't think you even have to say that you think guys need to suck it up, because the
Yeah,
same thing can be said
I do
all the way
think
around.
context is key about every single situation, but there are some guys that are actually hurting out there, that are lonely, that don't know how to understand, like to get over their feelings and talk through their feelings and have any friends to talk about their feelings, because they've never been taught
We're
that.
not.
And I do think
We're,
that
we're
there
not.
should be, yeah,
I think one of the reasons that young women or young girls are seen as more intelligent early on top of the scientific fact that their brains develop a little sooner than men's, is the fact that they're societally encouraged to be a lot more open with their feelings than men are. So by virtue of the fact that you're more encouraged to express your feeling, you're going to be heard more by virtue of putting that out there
yeah,
inherently. So
yeah.
young boys are just treated as like, what's one thing that I hear a lot from parents that have both young girls or young boys is like, oh, boys are easy. Why do they think that? Because what they're really saying is, I can emotionally neglect my son because I don't have to pay. There's no societal stigma if I ignore him emotionally. And it's true. And it
I
sucks.
I do. That's a light bulb moment for me, because I think you're right on that 100%.
Yeah. Young
Boys
boys
are
are
easy.
treated as they're easy.
I
Are
would
they?
say boys, no, they're
Boys
not.
are
They're
it.
not.
No,
Boys are
kids are
boys.
kids.
Yeah, boys are almost more difficult in the sense that you have to teach them how to navigate specific feelings and how to respect certain people and talk a certain
Later
way,
on,
and
later
get
on, that's the
over.
problem.
Yeah, well, you have to talk to
Yeah,
both. Well, if you bring it up early, boys can talk about their feelings. Like, if are they frustrated? Why are they frustrated? Are they horny? Are they doing this? Like, do they feel this way? There's a whole bunch of other issues that we probably
yeah.
should be talking about with boys that we don't. And it's not because they're easy. They're having these same feelings and emotions as girls. And we don't put in the effort the same way or we don't put, not maybe not the same way. We don't put in the effort that we should to
Right.
help navigate boys becoming
100%.
men and those feelings. So I think,
100%.
yeah. And so because of that, that adds to the patriarchal problem. That adds to,
100%. And,
yes.
and that goes back to that discussion we've had before about like red pill stoicism, about
Hmm.
how it's manly to just, suck it up and fucking push, like drive on. Like, what's manly about ignoring reality and your problems? What the fuck is manly about just being a repressed, angry asshole? Because all you're showing me is an unwillingness to deal with something uncomfortable. Is that brave and or manly? Because I don't think so when you put it under that context.
No,
Deal with your
definitely not.
fucking feelings. Because like, that's the true definition of like real capital S stoicism is, hey,
Yeah.
why do I feel this way? Analyze your feelings. I feel this way because this happened. What can I
Hmm.
do about it? What can I not do about it? How can
Yeah.
I attack this or deal or confront this next time, so that next time I deal with this situation, I have better control over my feeling.
Hmm.
It's the exact opposite. You're literally taking your feelings, fully analyzing them, and breaking it down to a full understanding.
Yeah.
And
And guys,
that's
we don't
emotional
do a
intelligence.
we don't do a good job at that. It's
No,
guys. At
no.
least a lot of us, again, it's not a skill that we get taught. It's doesn't get taught in school, doesn't get taught in college. Maybe if you go to psychology class or if you go talk to a therapist, but we don't go talk to therapists. But yeah, you're right. That specific process in itself, stoicism, understanding about emotions and feelings and XYZ cause and effect of it. We don't get taught that. So again, guys, if you want, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I will push back a little bit on the college part because that's partly where I learned it with you guys. Like, I went to college
Yeah.
outside of my comfort zone, outside of where I live. And that's where I met Mitch. And that's where I met all the other roommates. And I had the fortunate experience where we were the kind of guys that would have real conversations and
Mhm.
we would be
Yeah.
vulnerable with each other because we genuinely like cared about each other as brothers like that.
Yeah.
And
I think that is key. Finding that friendship group so that you feel confident enough to be able to talk about that stuff. I do think that is, we were lucky. I think that that
mhm,
is, I don't
I
know
think that was
about,
the exception, not the rule, for sure.
yeah, I don't know if that happens often. I don't know how guys are in college right now. I think it's, we, and you're going to freaking laugh, but we're Pisces. We are arguably more emotionally mature. Laugh all you want, but like my wife tells me this all the time. We are just more emotionally understanding of like emotions. And I think that kind of helped out with talking to the roommates. But let's be
I
real.
just need you
Like,
to know that Carl Sagan's rolling in his grave right
I'm not saying that that is the only reason. I'm just saying
now. I know.
some girls might understand that, "Oh, we're both Pisces. We're better at understanding feelings." In reality, I was raised a specific way. My parents helped me out being able to talk through my feelings. You did not. I don't think you were
I don't know.
raised in that same as I was, but you were very receptive, I think, of us. It was almost like you were born with it. So I don't know how to exactly explain it, but you
Yeah,
seem to have
that's
been
a good.
born.
It's really weird because my dad's not a nurturing guy,
Yeah.
but he's my mother was very much the cold one of the two.
Yeah.
She was the traditional guy in that sense, but I was fortunate mostly because I spent a lot of time growing up with my grandparents who were extremely loving and caring and listening.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
got that mostly from them.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it is a combination of like genes and
Yeah.
how you were raised, but it might have to do with something more with like who you are as a person. I don't know if that
Yeah,
makes
for
any
sure.
sense, but again, because yeah, I can't necessarily explain it because I wasn't necessarily nurtured to be emotionally intelligent. I was just like,
Yeah.
it just kind of came to be. So again, but I think a lot of guys are not. A lot of
No,
guys are not emotionally intelligent, nor do they feel like they should be emotionally intelligent or care,
no,
be understanding. And so again, I don't know how to
because
fix that.
they hear, oh, that's fucking gay.
Yeah.
That's what they think.
Hmm. And I'm like,
That's
no,
soft.
that's the
And
opposite.
unfortunately, there are women that think the same thing.
Yeah.
And this is another issue of men not being heard is you see a lot of problems in the dating world where and you see it all the time like, oh well, she's not willing to commit. Oh, I've been hurt before. Something you hear a
Hmm.
lot from girls. So,
Yeah.
but I've also heard from guys that they'll straight up tell them like, I'm not your therapist, like that's not my problem.
Hmm.
Or a guy bringing baggage to the relationship is a red flag, or the traditional, how many guys finally open up and confide something in their girlfriends or their partners, and then the next time they have a fight, they bring that up and use it against
Yeah, no, I think that happens. Like I said, I think there's that's a completely, I think, separate conversation that we need to have next time.
you.
But you're right, you're right, you're right. It happens. Like I said,
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of other different issues there, but
Yeah.
you're not wrong. We can, I think we scratched the surface on a previous episode, but I think we need to come back to it. I think we need to revisit it. But
Yeah.
let's finish up that conversation today for this podcast, and let's transition to the new thing that we want to try to do for all future episodes, and that's Man, We're in Trouble book talk. What are we reading? I don't know what's the say Book talk. Yeah, that's a thing. If you're on TikTok, I don't know
Bro, my
what's the
back
section
hurts. I'm
called.
too old for that shit. I'll let you
All
start.
right, are you reading any books? I
Oh,
can tell you what I'm
well,
reading.
all right, you're the host, so I'm going to stop stepping
Okay.
over you and you tell me what to do.
Okay. So, all right, guys, we're transitioning to this new segment called where we chat about what we're reading. And so, what I'm reading right now is Dungeon Crawler Carl. If you guys haven't heard of it, I don't know. It's gone viral over the past like year or so. It is, and I don't read. I don't read much at all. My wife has been trying to get me to read all of her romantasy books, freaking Fourth Wing. Gosh, I don't even know. In any case, I'm not a big reader.
Are you having her read about the fall of the Roman Empire, though?
Bro, this is essentially the fall of Rome. I'm just kidding. It's not
All
like
right.
that at all. Dungeon Crawler Carl is basically like a mix of like Dungeons and Dragons mixed with alien invasion mixed with all these pop culture like Comic-Con references mixed with what's it called? Running Man. And it's all meshed into one. I have the audiobook. It sounds like the guy Kronk, that actor. And it's such a
Love that guy.
fun it's such a fun book that I cannot put down now. It's only been a week. I'm already in the middle of book 2, almost at the end of book 2. So like it's such a fun book. There's no romance at all, but it's just I don't know.
Yeah, guys,
I
none of
don't
that gay shit.
none of that feelings. Nah, we need some nerd stuff. No,
Fuck out of here.
it's just something. It's fun. It's action packed. It gets right into like the action, like right at the very beginning in the first chapter. And it's just something that's very different that I don't think has been done before. So that's what I'm reading right now. I highly recommend it. And if you guys have any other opinions about it, put it in the comments.
You know,
Ed, what
I've
are
had
you
like
reading?
3 people at work tell me that they were reading that and they all said it was great. So I might have to add
Yeah,
it to the list. But
it's
man,
yeah.
if you're reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, hop on the World War II Eastern Front German Army memoir train.
Is that what you're
I'm
reading?
reading. I just read this book called The Forgotten Soldier by a dude called Guy Sayer. It is a Frenchman who gets ousted out of France early in the Second World War, decides to join the German army, gets sent to the Eastern Front, and basically spends 4 years of the war out fighting the Russians in the Eastern Front. And everything after Stalingrad, obviously, is just constant retreat, constant chaos for just basically 2-3 years. It is insane that people not that long, like people are still alive that experienced that
Yeah.
in the mid 40s. And it's just, we all grew up listening to how, to the Allied side of the war. And I love reading history, and I've always wanted to get a full rounded picture of everything. And I finally decided to say, I want to see World War II from the German side. And it's one of the best books I've read. I could not put it down.
I'm
Finally
assuming
finished
it's
it.
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, it's what?
I'm assuming it's just like it's super serious though.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what's the
Like
vibe?
there's a lot of, well, I'm sleep deprived. I'm emaciated. I haven't eaten. I got lice in my pube, and my best friend just got blown up by artillery. Oh, because I haven't showered in like a month.
I
Yeah.
thought that was you were describing yourself right now because you couldn't put this book down.
No, no. That's the dude. Yeah, that's the dude.
Okay, I gotcha.
And now
Yeah.
I'm reading something way more lighthearted, which is all about Pentagon weapons acquisitions programs. It's called the Pentagon Wars,
Oh,
and it's actually really fun.
yeah. Pentagon Wars, I would say, is more lighthearted than a more traditional wartime book. But I
Yeah.
the
Now you've read Pentagon Wars?
nope, I've seen the movie, but
Yeah, no. The movie's a comedy, but the book's legit.
okay, that's fair. No, I
Yeah,
haven't seen.
the movie's based on the book.
Yeah, but the movie
And
is
the
a
book,
comedy.
yeah, the movie's a comedy. But I will say, The movies I haven't watched the movie. It's on my list, but I've been told that the movie was made a comedy on purpose to highlight the absurdity
Yes.
of the situation.
100%, 100%. So
So
I'll
you
have to
watched the
read the
movie.
book. Yeah, I haven't read the book. So
Yeah, I'm enjoying. If you've ever read Skunk Works about
yes. Yeah, I have
Lockheed and
read
the
Skunk Works.
SR-71
Yeah, yeah.
and you enjoyed it,
Yeah.
you'd like this. It's a
Okay.
very similar vibe.
I thought Skunk Works was actually pretty serious. I mean, I enjoyed reading the book, but it was definitely more of a serious vibe.
It's serious but interesting in like a
Yeah, yeah.
sciencey way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, Dungeon Crawler Carl is fun, lighthearted, super interesting, and it's just like a completely different vibe. It's almost like, oh gosh, what's the word? What is that cartoony comic book style movie that came out in like 2009, 2010? Not Kick-Ass. Was it Kick-Ass? It was Cena.
It's not Ready
Man,
Player One, right?
No, I mean it's kind of like Ready Player One vibes, but Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So like that's kind of like what I'm envisioning, like the vibe of the book as I'm reading it, of like it's super over the top kind of almost. So it's a lighthearted book that I feel like I need right now in the state of the world. So it's I think that's also why it's been popular right now, because of it being more lighthearted. But it's still
it's a fun
apocalyptic. Yeah, it's still apocalyptic. So it's weird how it's so much fun, but yet it's like the end of the world. So it's interesting. But yeah, now I'll have to look up the Pentagon Wars, actually, like the actual book. And then what was the other book name? The more serious one?
The Forgotten Soldier.
Forgotten Soldier. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds depressing, but no, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
but
I'm sure
I've been on this kick with like memoirs of war, of just like reading about dudes that just went through the craziest shit. And I like it because they write about it after the fact. And this is also like them going like, this is how I felt. Like, this is how we dealt with this shit.
Yeah. It's important for us to not forget about that, I think. Because when we forget about that, we're doomed to repeat history. So I think I think we should be doing that. So yeah. But
good boy.
All right, man. Well, on that note, I think that's the end of our episode. Guys, if you stay this long, definitely appreciate y'all listening. Make sure you like, comment, share on all of our social medias. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or don't completely disagree with us, make sure you tell us and we'll be sure to block you immediately. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And if you want to pay our mortgages, start a Patreon for us. Okay, love you. Bye.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, no, hey, thanks again. My name's Mitch. This is Ed. This is the Man Wearing Trouble podcast. Signing off. Bye bye.